In 1783, the site of London's gallows was moved from Tyburn to the large square in front of the jail, and here felons were hanged in public, their executions drawing large crowds that could number as many as 40,000 people. By 1868, it had been decided that such a gruesome public spectacle had no place in a supposedly civilized society, and on the 26th of May that year, Fenian Michael Barrett became the last man to be hanged in public outside Newgate Prison. Indeed, his was the last public execution in Britain. Thereafter, the executions took place inside the prison, initially in the chapel yard, but then inside a specially constructed shed built near the same spot. In total, 1,169 felons were executed inside and outside of Newgate Prison, and the chilling sight of their death masks was considered one of the highlights of a visit to the jail by those who managed to acquire one of the sought-after special permits that could only be issued by the Lord Mayor or a city sheriff. Visitors who ventured inside the grim walls could look forward to stepping inside the condemned cell where those who were to be executed awaited their fate. They could gawp at the flogging block which combined the pillory with the stocks, as the legs of those being punished were secured in 2 holes in the closed lid of a sort of wooden chest, while his hands were fastened in a frame to which his face was turned. And if you asked really nicely, they'd even let you try on the pinioning jacket. But the undisputed highlight of these visits was the opportunity to stand on the flagstones of Dead Man's Walk, a paved passage roofed with an iron grille, hence its official name, Birdcage Walk, beneath which the bodies of the executed criminals were interred in quicklime and their initials carved on the wall. Let's be honest, an illuminating educational family outing can work wonders for little Johnny's or Jemima's school grades, and seeing Dad chained up by a prison warder before you step into an enclosed passage beneath which lie the remains of dastardly murderers wouldn't be in the least bit traumatizing. The execution shed itself was the subject of postcards that people could send to their nearest and dearest, such as this one that I recently acquired that was sent to a Miss Colwell in Brighton, and which is inscribed with the message, London, 1905, with love, ED or EP. I can't actually decipher the signature. I wonder what Miss Colwell thought of receiving a glimpse of the execution apparatus in the mail. Still, at least the sender didn't inscribe it, Wish You Were Here. From the early 19th century, Newgate had only really been used as a holding prison for those awaiting trial at the adjacent Sessions House or Old Bailey, and in 1858 the interior of the jail was remodelled and the number of cells reduced to 168, each measuring 13 feet long by 7 feet wide. The furniture consisted of a hammock bed, which would be strung widthwise across the cell at night, and which would be folded and placed in the corner of the cell during the day, a washstand with a basin, a close pan, a folding table fixed to the wall, a stool, and slate shelves. The prison also had 8 punishment cells and 16 reception cells. In total, 123 male and 45 female prisoners could be kept at Newgate by 1888, which might sound like a large number, but which pales into almost insignificance when compared to the 800 persons of both sexes and all ages that were once accommodated therein. Newgate's closure was announced in the 1880s, but it wasn't until the early 20th century that the authorities finally called time on its grim bulk looming large over the city's landscape. On Tuesday the 6th of May 1902, 21-year-old soldier George Wolfe was the last person to be executed at the jail for the murder of Charlotte Cheeseman at Tottenham Marshes, and in July that year the Home Office returned the prison to the Corporation of London, and it was announced that the contents of the jail were to be auctioned off. The whipping block, various doors, keys and shackles went under the auctioneer's hammer, as did the execution shed and sundry other items of gruesome interest. By November, the wrecking crews had moved in, and the dismantling of the prison from the inside got underway.